Hey guys, and welcome to class. This is class number 4 with me, Coach B. I'll wait here for just a minute, so anyone who wants to come on live can do so. Today we are going to be going over and discussing technique for angel roll-ups. So angel roll-ups have a couple of different names if you don't know what I'm talking about. Probably the most descriptive name is just single arm or single leg roll-ups. So we will be first going through and discussing our arabesque position in the fabric. We will then be breaking down the wrap for angel roll-ups because unlike our chest roll-ups, which are probably one of the most simple wraps in fabric, our angel roll-up wrap is very complex. So then I will be giving you tips on how to practice doing your entrance and exits into your angel roll-ups nice and clean. And then we will finish up discussing our actual technique for rolling up. I'll give you another minute to come on. Just as an announcement, I'm continuing to put these live streams up on Patreon. So if you would like access to the 3 classes that came before this, then they are all available to you there, as well as this class will be up tonight or tomorrow. We are a quarter of the way towards my first goal of having 20 students on Patreon. Once I hit that landmark, I will start to include a second class every week. So you'll get double the class time. And so yeah, let me know if you have any questions about that. Otherwise, let's get started. We're going to start first with our arabesque position. And I'm going to begin just in my regular single footlock on both pieces. Once we're there, we're going to bring our same side arm through the fabric and then lift up through the free leg. Now in ballet, arabesque has a nice upright chest, and you're bringing your leg up behind you, nice and high. However, when we talk about doing an arabesque in aerial, usually we are, instead of staying upright, we are arching back into the fabric that is behind our back. The most efficient way to stay in your back balance on that piece of fabric is going to be to have it trail up the line of your leggings on your lower back. So I will give you a demonstration and we'll come back and talk about it. So I'm just going to do a single foot lock on the floor on both pieces. From here when I stand, I'm going to be bringing my same side arm as foot lock through the fabric. Okay? So my right foot is in its foot lock, my right hand comes through, and as I reach forward, I'm going to lift my leg to the back into arabesque, right? But again, our arabesque is not like a ballet actual arabesque. For aerial arabesque, we're actually going to tilt back to arch over the piece behind us. This is going to be our regular arabesque position. Now, as you're training this, specifically for our angel roll-up, you're going to want to practice really trying to force our bottom foot forward. So, as I go in, I'm going to bring my bottom hand to the pole in front of me, and I'm going to actively pull my bottom leg forward and up. This can also help you just in this position. It can really help you get that second leg up if you go for tilt or more towards like an arrow here. Okay. The last thing that I would have you practice is balancing no hands. Just really keeping yourself up with just your arch. Your arabesque position is going to be very important for the entrance to your single arm roll-up because we basically have to balance in that top position in order to wrap our arm. So the things that are going to help you the most to find that balance are, number one, actively pushing that foot-locked foot forward, just as we did with that little conditioning exercise, and then using our flexibility to bend back into the pole behind us. So you can warm up those two movements just there on your regular foot lock, and then once we get into that position on a foot lock on one silk, it will feel a lot easier to take your mind off the arabesque and on to wrapping our arm. So we are going to practice wrapping our arm first on the floor, so that once we get into the position, we also don't have to worry too much about how to wrap that arm, right? So the arm wrap is going to be exactly the same as our chest roll-up arm wrap, except instead of wrapping out from your arm here, you're going to be wrapping your arm in this position. So we just want to practice that on the floor preemptively, so that we get really used to doing that in the air. The faster that you can do it, the less long that you have to balance in your arabesque. So if my regular roll-up starts here, my single arm roll-up is going to start here. So you can see my pole comes down behind my deltoid and in front of my ear. Yes? And from here, we wrap shoulder, elbow, down into the hand. Just like the wrap for our regular chest roll-up. It's going to be here. Yes? So you can do another other arm. We want it to come, the shoulder to come in front of the silk, and our ears stay behind, and we wrap above the elbow, through the elbow, down into the hand, and reach across. Yes? Here, same position. Time. Chest roll up, wrap, angel roll up, wrap. And doing that ronde-jean with the arm at the end, going through to here, is also going to kind of replicate the motion that you will do in the air as you're moving from your arabesque down into roll-up position. Let's talk about our entrance now into single roll-ups before we move on to talking about technique, okay? So the entrance for single roll-ups is a little bit complicated just because we have to think about throwing the free silk over our head as we're turning around the pole in our arabesque, because we can't do our roll up on simply an arabesque. We have to roll up the fabric one time so that there is an additional wrap on the lower leg. So you'll get onto your single foot lock. You'll bring your opposite hand high onto the free piece of fabric. You'll lean yourself out away from the pole and then turn backwards to lift your free leg between your body and the pole, and simultaneously toss the free silk over your head with your bottom hand, right? Once you're there, you can then find your arabesque on the pole behind you, and again, actively push your footlock forward and arch back in order to balance in the position. Once you're there, and your top arm is over your head, you'll then replicate the same exercise that we just did on the floor, using your bottom hand to wrap your top hand. Are you ready? Always make sure to just start low while you're training. We wrap around one time onto our footlock on one piece. You stand up nice and tall and grab high onto the free piece of fabric with our opposite side hand. From there we lean out, we turn backwards to lift the leg through the pole, we toss the free silk over the head, and then find our arabesque on the piece behind us. Right? Again, I'm actively pushing forward with my bottom foot and arching back with my body into the pole. Right? My top hand comes overhead. I bring the silk behind my arm and in front of my face, and I wrap. 1, 2, 3. Yes. From here, I'm going to slowly lunge on that arm around, bend my leg in, and lower myself into my lower position. To get out, I cross my leg over the top. You can come to whatever standing position that you like, but we want to unwrap the arm, stand up. Now flamenco, the same side as footlocked hand, up, toss over the head as we roll back through, and we'll come back to neutral. Hopefully you guys can see that well. I'll be wrapping and unwrapping from that sequence just a few more times as we talk through our roll-up technique, but let me know if you have any specific questions about that. I guess the next thing that we want to do is get our rolling position nice and locked into our body. So for our beginning position, you're going to want to find both of your wrapped limbs parallel to the floor. So your wrapped arm all the way from fist up to shoulder should be parallel to the floor and in line with that shoulder, right? And then we want the wrapped leg, so the one with the footlock on it, also parallel to the floor from hip all the way to foot. And when you see that, your arm is going to be parallel to the floor from hand to shoulder, and then your hip to foot will be parallel to the floor, and they will be just unlevel with each other. So you don't want your hand all the way to your foot level. You want them to be slightly separate, right? Hand to shoulder, hip to foot, slightly separated. The other thing is where chest roll-ups, or regular roll-ups, are with a nice open chest straight out from the shoulder. Our single arm roll-ups are going to be closed-chested, arm coming straight forward out of the pecs. That is where we're going to push from. And you also actively want to push your hand down towards the floor as if it was sitting on a table, as if you're like doing rock, paper, scissors, right? Fist coming down to the floor, arm parallel to the floor, and leg parallel to the floor. On your wrapped leg, I personally prefer to have the pole of my leg down on my lower part of my calf, like my soleus, right? So not all the way moved down to my ankle, but low onto my calf. If the pole of your silk is at your knee or even higher than your knee, then you will not be able to do very many roll-ups, right? Maybe you'll get 1 or 2, but after that it's going to be way too tight and way too close to you. So I recommend getting strong with the pole nice and far out towards your lower leg. The last thing is, now that we're talking about the poles, the last thing to notice is to make sure that both of your poles are coming up the same side of your body. So that you want both of them to be coming up your front side, right? And so if one is coming up your front side and one is coming up your back side, then you'll know that really that your arm wrap came up the wrong side. So you'll want to go back to that arm, the arm wrapping exercise that I showed before in class, and review that a few times so that you get your arm wrap correct. Right? We're going to go through that. I'll ask that you try and show me a nice long hold, at least for your homework this week. So we'll go through the entrance. We'll hold the position nice and strong. If you're going for multiple roll-ups, you're going to be wanting to hold for at least 20 seconds, right? So show me how long you can hold it, and then we'll do a nice clean unwrap. Tie opposite hand, lead out, push over the head, come to arabesque. Hand overhead, we wrap behind, and 1, 2, 3. And as I come down, I bend my knee towards my other knee, so I come straight through, and I want to find hand parallel to the floor through my shoulder, and wrist to foot parallel to the floor too. I'm going to keep my hand high, my leg in passe, and hold. When I'm done, I'll grab the back piece of fabric, turn in, and unwrap my arm by bringing it down towards the floor and giving it a nice flourish. Right? I stand up, use my same side as footlock hand to flamenco on the free piece. Make sure it tosses over my head as I roll to come to neutral. Nice. Does anyone have any questions on that so far? If not, we are going to cover the very beginning of how you will start to work on your actual rolling up technique, and then we will finish up with class. So, both poles are coming up the front side of your body. Your leg is also on the front side of your body, but your arm is on the back side. So, in order to roll into the fabric, you're going to want to have your free arm, which is on the front side of your body, reach out for leverage, and then we want to keep the back leg tucked into our passe and attitude. Do you know what I mean by attitude? So, if this is arabesque, right? This is an attitude. So with a nice lifted knee and toes pushing back, right? You want an attitude with the leg, and that leverage between your free arm and your tucked leg will help you to get over the top, right? As you're going through this, we want to hold that nice parallel position steady and keep them both our wrapped limbs parallel all the way around the full roll up, right? When you're doing this, you want to keep the arm wrapping right on top of itself. So your arm wrap is going to roll over and over in the same place on your bicep, just the same as a chest roll up. However, the wrap is going to slowly inch its way up your leg. So they're going to be slightly different, and it will take some time for you to be able to consciously be aware of what both poles are doing and to be able to control them separately. That's what makes angel roll-ups slightly more difficult than a regular chest roll-up, because a chest roll-up is parallel. Both of the sides of your body are doing the exact same thing at the same time, so once you get the motion, you just have to do it over and over again. However, the angel roll-up actually changes slightly with each wrap that you do and is uneven between your two limbs. So it may take a little bit more technique and coordination for the angel roll-up, where with your chest roll-up, it'll be a little bit more of strength, right? Let's see. I'm with an injury in my arm and wrist, so I am dreaming about to do this now. Oh, that's okay. I understand. You can go over the other classes that we have been that I've covered this month. All of the recordings are on Patreon, and especially if your arm is injured, last week's class on balance splits is going to be the one for you. So keep working on those balance splits, and let's finish up with this roll-up technique. Crochet, lean out, toss, arabesque, wrap, 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 wrap. Control your way down. I'm just going to change the angle. Up, hold, and then my arm reaches out, my leg tucks back, and I keep my wrapped limbs parallel to the front. Right? I'm going to come back up, out. Keep my limbs nice and parallel. One more time. Up. Back down. I reach for the pole. I drop my wrapped arm. Crochet my same side hand. I apologize. My phone is apparently down to 20%. Last time there was a interruption. My video got shaky, but hopefully it is okay for this time around, and we're ending anyway here pretty soon. So for your homework, please practice going in and out of the wrap nice and clean, and just showing me a nice solid hold on your in your roll-up position. If you want to try doing the position with your strong arm, that is probably preferable if you'd like to go through this class. For everyone, you're going to probably want to try out both combinations of your right and left leg, and also your left and right leg, to see which one you prefer. You may think that it's the one that's your stronger arm, but personally, I use my less dominant arm and my more dominant leg because I'm significantly right-sided. And so I do mine on my right leg and my left arm. So you can try both. It's always good to be balanced and see which one you like better. And yeah, tag me in your homework assignments and let me know if you have any questions. This is our 4th class of the month, and I believe there is one more Sunday, so we are going to have a bonus class here in September, giving us 5 classes for the month. So let me know what you would like to see next week, and I'll see you then. Bye, guys.